injuries were discovered, including contusions to the head, stab wounds to the chest, and injuries consistent with strangulation on the neck. There were also injuries that indicated rape. Hello and happy Halloween. I hope you are doing well and are enjoying the Halloween season. My name is Gabby, and in today's video we're going to be talking about a man who committed his crime on All Hallows Eve. This is the case of Johnny Frank Garrett. On the morning of the 31st of October 1981, Sister Angela Martinez, a nun at St. Francis Convent in Amarillo, Texas, went to check on a fellow nun, 76-year-old Sister Tadea Benz, who had been unexpectedly absent from the morning's church service. Arriving at Sister Tadea's room, she found the door closed, which was unusual as the elderly nun was hard of hearing and left her door ajar to more easily hear the morning buzzer. Upon opening the door, Sister Angela was shocked to find Sister Tadea's nude body on the floor with her arms outstretched. Despite the circumstances and the presence of blood on Sister Tadea's face, the nuns of the convent didn't consider the possibility of foul play, and the body was taken to a funeral home to be prepared for burial. About an hour later, another nun found a broken window, unlatched and open, in the convent's community room. The obvious sign of a break-in prompted the nuns to call the police, who, upon arrival, soon realised that something far worse than a burglary had occurred and secured the crime scene, including Sister Tadea's room. The evidence collected included the bed sheets, Sister Tadea's nightclothes, a kitchen knife that was found under the bed, and fingerprints from the knife, the bed's headboard, and the broken window. Additionally, another knife, a steak knife, was found in the convent driveway. The body of the nun was recovered from the funeral home, but by then it had already been partially cleaned and arterial embalming had been completed. Nevertheless, an autopsy was carried out and multiple injuries were discovered, including contusions to the head, stab wounds to the chest, and injuries consistent with strangulation on the neck. There were also injuries that indicated rape. The cause of death was ruled to be manual strangulation. A witness reported seeing 17-year-old Johnny Frank Garrett, who lived across the road from the convent and had a history of petty crime, running away on the night of the murder. He was arrested on the 9th of November 1981. The evidence against Garrett was considerable. Prints found on the knife recovered from under Sister Tadea's bed and on the headboard matched Garrett. Pubic hairs recovered from the scene were similar to Garrett's, and the steak knife that was found on the driveway was the same make as the steak knives found in Garrett's home and had the same amount of wear and use from them. Additionally, an inmate of Potter County Jail, where Garrett was held before his trial, testified that Garrett had initially denied the crime but later confessed to it. During his trial, Garrett denied the crimes he was accused of. However, he said that 2 days before the murder, he'd entered the convent via the front door around noon to look for things to steal, and that was when and how his fingerprints ended up where they were found. However, one of the nuns, Sister Bernice Nogler, testified that Garrett's story wasn't believable as the front door of the convent was kept locked. It would have been impossible for him to get into the areas he claimed to have gone when he claimed to without being noticed. His description of various things inside the convent didn't match reality, and nothing had been reported missing. Garrett was found guilty of the rape and murder of Sister Tadea Benz and sentenced to death. He was held at Ellis Unit near Huntsville, Texas, to await his execution. However, the verdict and sentence soon attracted controversy. Between 1982 and 1986, he was examined by 3 mental health experts who concluded that Garrett was extremely mentally impaired, brain damaged, and psychotic as the result of what one expert described as one of the most virulent histories of abuse and neglect that he had encountered in 28 years of practice. As one of Garrett's lawyers, Warren Clark, rather bluntly put it, Garrett was simply too crazy to kill. Garrett's mental impairments, mental illness, and extensive history of abuse were revealed to the jury during his trial, and prosecutors insisted that despite his impairments, Garrett was aware of his crime and understood the punishment. Given that, At least one of those who assessed him stated that Garrett suffered from delusions, including the belief that lethal injections wouldn't kill him. The second point is somewhat doubtful. Garrett's case attracted a great deal of attention from opponents of the death penalty, including the Catholic Diocese of Amarillo, 16 Catholic bishops, and Amnesty International. It even got the personal attention of Pope John Paul II, who requested clemency on Garrett's behalf prior to his original scheduled execution date of the 6th of January 1992, which resulted in a temporary reprieve being granted by the Governor of Texas, Ann Richards, while a hearing was held by the Texas Board of Pardon and Paroles to decide whether or not Garrett's sentence should be commuted to life imprisonment. However, the hearing didn't go Garrett's way, with the resulting vote being 17-0 in favour of the sentence being retained, with one abstention. Garrett was executed at Huntsville Unit via lethal injection on the 11th of February 1992 at the age of 28. His last meal request was ice cream, and while the official record states that he declined to make a last statement, it has been frequently reported by a variety of other sources that Garrett's last words were, "I'd like to thank my family for loving me and taking care of me. The rest of the world can kiss my ass." Following Garrett's execution, speculation regarding his possible innocence continued, as did the criticism directed towards the state of Texas for allowing a mentally disabled person to be sentenced to death while still a juvenile and executed. The speculation gained considerable strength when in 2004, DNA evidence linked Sister Tadea's murder to a man named Leoncio Perez Rueda, who was in prison serving a life sentence for the rape and murder of another elderly Amarillo woman named Nania Box Bryson a few months prior to Sister Tadea's death, to which he had pled guilty. While in prison, Rueda claimed to have raped and beaten a nun on Halloween in 1981. He remains in prison for Bryson's death. According to Jesse Quackenbush, who made the documentary The Last Word about the case, Garrett was innocent of the crime and the victim of overzealous prosecutors and poor defense attorneys. The Last Word was later adapted into a 2016 semi-fictional horror movie, Johnny Frank Garrett's Last Word. So that was the case of Johnny Frank Garrett. Was he the actual murderer, or was he just in the wrong place at the wrong time and ended up being executed for a crime he didn't commit? If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you enjoy my content, please do, it will be very much appreciated. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you never miss another true crime video. But until I see you again, please be safe, be well, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.